Hello and welcome, bookworms. Welcome to this week's episode of The Contented Narrative. We are looking at Horns by Joe Hill. Now, this is one of the books. Joe Hill is a fantastic author, and I have actually met him in person, and he's absolutely lovely and so sweet, and he's the son of Stephen King, and you can tell he has his dad's flair, and he's fantastic, and I've got so many of his books, and I have reviewed a couple on this channel before, but Horns, there is a film of Horns as well with our favourite little Harry Potter actor, Daniel Radcliffe, as the main character. And you know what? It's not bad. I enjoyed the film. It is actually pretty close to the book. But as you know, I don't do the book to film adaptations anymore. But I thought I'd come on and recommend the book. So it follows the main character, Ig. And he lived a great life and he had a great girlfriend and everything like that. And then one day he wakes up and his girlfriend's dead and he's been transformed. And he can feel the beginning of these like little nubs in his forehead. And everyone thinks that he's killed the girlfriend. Everyone, like, he's a pariah. Everyone thinks that he's the reason why the girlfriend is dead. But then he realizes that he's got a talent now, that his horns make it impossible for people to lie to him. So basically he knows what their deepest, darkest secrets are. So for example, you know, I mean, obviously I haven't, but say I ran someone over like 5 years ago or whatever. I wasn't even driving 5 years ago, but say I ran someone over 5 years ago. I did a hit and run. I ran off. I disappeared, you know, never to be heard from again. If I met Ig, he, like, just by talking to him, I'd feel the urge to divulge that secret, that deep, dark secret that's hidden deep inside of me. And people can't help it, and they don't realize that they've said it as well. So they kind of, like, after the conversation, they're like, oh hi, like, how you doing? So obviously he's then trying to, like, figure out, because you know what it's like when the people around you, you see the version of them that they want you to see. You see the perfect curated version, you know, even the ones that you love, there might be secrets that they've not told you. I'm hoping, you know, that most couples, that you're an open book and stuff, but there might be little things that they might, like white lies and stuff like that, or secrets that they're like, oh, I'm going to take this to my grave. But so Ig's going around, and all these family members, all these, like, his parents and his, you know, his friends and people that he's grown up with, like, everybody, they're suddenly divulging their secrets to him, and he's kind of like, I mean, what do you do with that? Because it does help him find out who the murderer is. That's not a spoiler, because obviously he's given that power for a reason, but I'm not going to tell you who the murderer is. But I just want to know if you figured it out before it was announced. So if you did figure it out before it was announced in the book, before, you know, the big reveal happened, leave below in the comments and just say, I knew before. That's perfect. That's all I need to know, because you know, when you have an inkling when you're reading it and you go, oh, I have a feeling in my bones, and I'm not happy. I think that that's what's going to happen. And when it turned out that the killer was the killer, I was like, oh no, right, okay, I was right, perfect. So it wasn't as much of a surprise to me as I was maybe hoping. That's what happens when your brain is like a million miles an hour. Like, you're literally playing and you're going, all right, so if they've said this and then they've done that, and then he's found that secret out, but then that secret's related to that one, but then that's related to, and then they've lied about that, but they've done that. Oh, right, well then it has to be so-and-so. So sometimes I wish my brain would just shut itself off. But it was a very, very enjoyable book, because even though you're supposed to, part of you is kind of, even though you feel sorry for Ig for a bit, you are still supposed to be like, oh, you know, he's not a great human, and that's the thing that I love the most about him, is he is completely flawed, but as he sort of like starts figuring it out and putting it together, and he's like, oh right, okay, so this is what my life is now. And I really enjoyed it. I've gone back and reread it several times throughout the years. You know, every time I kind of can't put it down, even though I know who it is now when I'm reading it, it's still as enjoyable the fourth time as it's the first. And I would definitely recommend that you guys read it, because honestly it is so much fun. But obviously, if you agree or disagree with anything that I'm saying, if you've read it and gone, actually no, this is boring, like, that's fine. That is absolutely your prerogative. I'm never going to try and change anybody's mind, but leave below in the comments, click subscribe, like this video, share it with friends and family. Thank you so much for all your support, and I hope that you remember to always keep it contento.